High above the clouds lies the mystical azure bird peak, a realm of towering mountains. A powerful axe cleaves through wood with immense practiced force. A lone woodcutter rests, satisfied after completing another colossal tower of logs for the day. His sharp gaze follows a strange streak of blue energy descending from the sky. A system window materializes, reporting an incredible lifetime total of over 3 million chopped logs. He smirks with satisfaction as the system bestows upon him the title of Woodcutter Saint. This man recalls his past life on Earth, a stark contrast to his current existence. Once he was a celebrated rising star, known for his talent and charisma. The memory brings a shadow of pain to his face, hinting at a difficult past. His promising career was destroyed after he refused to be controlled by powerful sponsors. His past life ended in a haze of despair, cut short by a sudden blinding flash. After death, he was reborn into the Clear Sky Academy, finding himself a teacher in a new world. The arrival of a system reignited his youthful dreams of adventure and a grand destiny. But his grand ambitions were quickly crushed by a system that only had one command: chop wood. He scoffs at his Woodcutter Saint title, finding it useless for achieving true power. Suddenly, a figure descends from the sky, respectfully addressing him as Grand Uncle Master. The visitor makes a dramatic entrance, landing atop a log tower with a destructive flourish. He delivers a message from the dean about selecting a disciple, all while mocking the woodcutter's low cultivation. Unfazed, the woodcutter dismisses the messenger and casually returns to his task. He internally questions the point of it all, wondering who would ever choose a mere woodcutter as their master. He nonchalantly heads off, thinking about what to barbecue for his next meal. Meanwhile, at the Clear Sky Academy, a massive crowd of applicants gathers for the annual selection. Swordmaster Zhang Hemming humbly accepts praise as his department once again attracts the most hopefuls. Other instructors gossip about the absent teacher Bai, mocking his low cultivation and calling him a deadbeat. Zhang Hemming furiously agrees, declaring that Bai's decade-long refusal to take disciples is a disgrace. He boldly petitions the dean to strip Bai of his status and reassign the coveted Azure Bird Peak. The Academy's powerful dean cuts the complaints short with a single commanding word. Dean Li Guangqi reminds everyone that they have forgotten the true reason for Bai's lost power. He reveals that Bai sacrificed his cultivation to protect the entire academy, stunning the crowd into silence. Unswayed, Zhang Hemming argues that past heroism doesn't justify Bai's current unsuitability as an instructor. An instructor proposes a compromise, letting Bai keep his peak but lose his teaching title, a plan others quickly endorse. Just then, Bai himself arrives, sarcastically thanking the other instructors for their deep concern. He confidently strolls in, holding a snake for dinner, and surprisingly declares his agreement with their complaints. The messenger taunts him for getting hurt by a tiny snake, but Bai claims the creature was deceptively strong. The crowd of disciples murmurs, with some finding Bai approachable while a striking young woman remains skeptical. But this young woman's eyes reveal a hidden depth, a tear of determination tracing her cheek as she focuses intently. Through her unique vision, she sees a terrifying, swirling red aura of immense power radiating from the seemingly weak woodcutter. The messenger smugly offers Bai a regeneration pill, feigning pity for his supposed injury. He then issues a challenge, promising the pill only if Bai can manage to recruit a single disciple from the crowd. The stakes are raised. If Bai fails, he must resign, a wager the woodcutter seems to consider with a smirk. Bai dismisses the challenge with a weary sigh, claiming he's too lazy to find a disciple and turns to leave. A sharp command halts him in his tracks, forcing him to glance back with a hint of irritation. The messenger immediately complains to the dean, accusing Bai of being unmotivated and unfit for his role. He formally petitions the dean to revoke Bai's teaching status, pointing an accusatory finger. The other instructors quickly back the messenger, murmuring their agreement that Bai is no longer suitable. With a calculating gaze, the dean turns the question to Bai, asking for his thoughts on the matter. Bai nonchalantly shrugs, surprisingly admitting that he doesn't do much as an instructor anyway. His rivals smirk, already plotting to seize his Azure Bird Peak once his title is gone. The dean raises a hand, silencing the hall to deliver his final solemn judgment. He begins the official decree, citing Bai's lack of cultivation and decade-long failure as grounds for his dismissal. But a sudden shout from the crowd cuts through the silent hall, halting the dean's decree. All eyes turn to the determined young woman who boldly steps forward from the crowd of applicants. She confidently declares her wish to become Teacher Bai's disciple and learn the art of talismans under him. Whispers of disbelief ripple through the crowd, questioning why she would choose a teacher with no future. An instructor steps in, desperately trying to convince her she's wasting her immense talent on a dead-end master. Others join in, mocking the fallen talisman department and warning she'll be nothing more than a servant there. The swordsmanship instructor even offers her the coveted position of chief disciple if she joins his department instead. Ignoring all their pleas and offers, the young woman firmly grabs hold of Bai's arm, refusing to let go. She passionately pleads for him to accept her, but Bai casually rejects her, claiming he'd rather enjoy his retirement. The messenger watches in furious disbelief as Bai tries to shrug off the most promising applicant of the year. The swordsmanship instructor seethes, convinced Bai has orchestrated a plot to steal his best potential disciple. He points an accusatory finger, calling Bai a schemer, much to the confusion of both Bai and the young woman. Changing tactics, he addresses the dean, sarcastically suggesting they let the girl have her way since she's so determined. The young woman clings to Bai with a triumphant smile, while the woodcutter recoils in utter shock. Bai finally questions her desperation, reminding her that following a master with no power is a hopeless endeavor. She stuns him by revealing she is the reincarnation of a powerful immortal being. A flashback shows her spirit transferring to her new body after failing to achieve her ultimate goal in her past life. Her original plan was to leverage her past life's knowledge to dominate the path of swordsmanship. However, she never anticipated meeting a hidden expert of Bai's caliber, leaving him momentarily speechless. She then reveals the tiny snake he caught is actually a formidable beast on the cusp of becoming a dragon. She admits that even in her past life's prime, she wouldn't have dared to fight such a powerful beast. The creature was a terrifying serpent on the very brink of ascending into a true dragon. This leaves her wondering how the seemingly weak Bai managed to kill a monster of that caliber. The dean watches the entire exchange with a subtle, all-knowing smirk. As the dean prepares to make his final announcement, Bai suddenly raises a hand to object. But it's too late. The dean officially transfers the girl to the talisman department, leaving Bai utterly flustered. The dean gives a smug thumbs up for his thoughtful decision, triggering Bai's furious denial. A simple panel declares the end of the day's chaotic selection ceremony. The crowd of instructors and disciples begins to disperse from the academy hall. The messenger approaches Bai with a sneer, sarcastically congratulating him on his first disciple in 10 years. Bai watches the smug messenger depart through a portal, internally questioning the man's sanity. Now stuck with a disciple, Bai finally asks for her name, and she introduces herself as Su Liyue. He inwardly sighs, regretting his decision to attend the ceremony which has only brought him more trouble. Resigned to his fate, he decides her future is her own responsibility as they head towards his peak. They arrive at the remote azure bird peak, connected to the main academy by a simple rope bridge. Su Liyue surveys his dilapidated home, puzzled why such a powerful master lives in apparent poverty. She ponders his immense power, believing he could destroy the academy yet chooses a life of austerity. Bai finally addresses his new disciple, preparing to lay down the ground rules of his tutelage. He begins by informing her that the talisman department has no classes and she must teach herself. His second rule grants her complete freedom, stating she never needs to report her whereabouts to him. He delivers his final rule. The department has been without academy resources for a decade, but he reassures her, promising to provide everything she needs himself. When asked if she has questions, Su Liyue confidently confirms she has none. Pleased, he tosses her 2 books he personally compiled for her training. The first book is a complete guide to talismans, containing lessons and insights organized by difficulty. The second is a workbook filled with practice exercises, which he warns her to tackle at her own pace. He warns that he will check her progress, and she respectfully agrees to his terms. With the orientation over, he points her towards the empty dorms, letting her choose any room. Staring at the rundown building, she momentarily wonders if it's too late to change her mind. She quickly dismisses her doubts, deciding the hardship is a small price for his tutelage, while Bai prepares his dinner. Bai expertly prepares the near-dragon serpent for his dinner. He skillfully skewers the valuable meat, readying it for the fire. With a simple flick of his finger, a magical flame ignites at his command. He casually uses this power to light the grill, treating it as a simple cooking chore. Meanwhile, Su Liyue is greeted by a cloud of dust in her dilapidated new room. But a tantalizing aroma suddenly catches her attention, drawing her out of her dismay. Annoyed by the dust, she peeks outside to find the source of the incredible smell. Her eyes widen in disbelief as she sees her master casually roasting the formidable beast. She panics, realizing he's cooking a creature whose body could forge priceless heirlooms. To her absolute horror, the woodcutter simply takes a bite, savoring the legendary monster as a common snack. He chews thoughtfully, savoring the priceless meat with a casual expression. The irresistible aroma makes Su Liyue drool, a tear of pure culinary desire escaping her eye. She realizes that in all her millennia of cultivation, she's never once tasted such a delicacy. Overcome by temptation, she cautiously approaches her master from behind. With a hopeful and slightly flirtatious expression, she shyly asks for a small taste. Bai shuts her down with a blunt refusal, leaving the former immortal completely stunned. She imagines her old immortal companions mocking her for being so easily humbled by a simple request for food. He tries to explain his reasoning, but she's too busy trembling with indignation to listen. She storms off in a huff, accusing him of already breaking his promise to provide for her. A single, sharp command from Bai stops her cold, forcing her to halt her dramatic exit. She turns back with a hopeful gaze, asking once more if he will share some of the feast. In response, Bai dips a thin twig into the sizzling golden fat of the beast. He pulls out the twig, now glowing with an impossibly potent, condensed energy. He offers her the glowing stick, calmly instructing her to lick it. Su Liyue recoils in disgust, completely baffled by his bizarre offer. He explains this isn't about being stingy. A single taste will reveal why she can't handle the meat. Despite her reservations, her curiosity gets the better of her, and she agrees to try. She cautiously leans forward, extending her tongue to taste the mysterious golden essence. With a hesitant lick, she samples the impossibly concentrated power from the twig. Her eyes fly open in sheer terror as an overwhelming force floods her senses, bringing tears to her eyes. An overwhelming wave of spiritual ki floods her body, enveloping her in a brilliant, transformative light. She struggles to process the immense power, realizing it's far more than she can handle. The former immortal understands that a single lick has already pushed her spiritual energy to its absolute breaking point. She realizes that if she had taken a full bite, her cultivation base would have completely shattered from the tyrannical energy. Humbled by the lesson, she bows deeply to Bai, thanking him for his invaluable guidance while he casually eats. He calmly instructs her that 1 lick per day is her limit, a rule she respectfully agrees to follow. That night, 2 masked figures emerge from a glowing portal, arriving at the desolate azure bird peak. They whisper about a rumor that Bai has obtained a spiritual treasure, noting that previous thieves were brutally dealt with. One of the intruders silently scales a wall and drops into the courtyard, ready to begin their mission. His partner joins him, scoffing at the idea that a cripple like Bai should be allowed to possess such a powerful item. He reveals their secret weapon, a potent knockout potion designed to subdue any beast. The lead thief quickly silences his partner's nervous hesitation with a sharp gesture. Their stealthy approach is interrupted as they spot Bai walking through the courtyard. The woodcutter calmly fills a trough with fresh hay for the night. He speaks to his horse, fondly recalling the day he rescued the frail animal. Bai smiles, pleased to see how healthy and strong his companion has become. The horse affectionately nuzzles its master before he turns in for the night. From the shadows, the intruders watch Bai head inside, clutching their potion and waiting for their chance. Bai extinguishes the last light, plunging the courtyard into near darkness. Believing their target is asleep, the thieves decide it's finally time to execute their plan. The thieves confidently claim the horse for their Beastmaster department. Meanwhile, Su Liyue diligently studies the talisman guide in her room. She absorbs the profound knowledge contained within the pages of the book. A sudden noise outside makes her snap the book shut with a sharp glare. Her senses flare as she realizes intruders have dared to trespass on her master's peak. Leaving her studies, she silently moves to confront the troublemakers. She resolves to personally teach these unwelcome guests a harsh lesson. Outside, one of the thieves stomps forward, their heavy boots signaling their approach. He uncorks the knockout potion with a sinister grin, preparing to subdue the horse. The pair creepily offers the drugged concoction to the unsuspecting animal. A figure wreathed in blue flame emerges from the darkness, demanding to know who sent the intruders. The thieves are momentarily stunned, mistaking her for a maid before realizing she's Bai's new disciple. One of them scoffs, waving her away and telling her to mind her own business. Su Liyue stands defiantly, warning them that her master's property is off limits. The lead thief decides he's had enough talk and prepares to resolve the situation with force. He lunges towards her, closing the distance in a blur of motion. A cruel grin spreads across his face as he warns her that she asked for what's coming. He reaches out to grab her, but she meets his advance with an unyielding, icy glare. With a flash of movement, she effortlessly evades his clumsy attack. She pivots and delivers a swift, powerful kick that sends the would-be thief flying. Her kick connects with brutal force, snapping the thief's head back with the impact. The downed thief skids across the ground as his worried partner rushes to his side. Coughing up blood, the intruder tries to save face, claiming he was just careless. The lead thief recovers, delegating the horse to his partner while claiming Su Liyue as his own opponent. He ignites with fiery energy, lunging forward to overwhelm her with a powerful strike. His burning rage meets her icy calm as they prepare to clash. She counters his flaming fist with a swift kick, her blue energy meeting his fire in a brilliant flash. He recoils in agony, his hand scorched by a strange blue fire that consumes his very spiritual energy. She strikes a pose, the ethereal blue flames flickering around her leg as a warning. Enraged by his partner's defeat, the second thief abandons the horse and charges at her with a furious cry. The commotion outside finally rouses Bai from his rest, a flicker of annoyance in his eyes. He calmly slips on his sandals, deciding it's time to deal with the late-night disturbance. From his window, he silently observes his new disciple effortlessly handling the intruders. With a weary yawn, he grabs a stick, clearly bothered by this disruption to his sleep. He casually flicks a small piece of chalk, setting a grand plan into motion with a simple gesture. Instantly, a massive blue barrier erupts, sealing the entire peak within a silent, inescapable dome. Su Liyue effortlessly stops the second thief's desperate charge with a single glowing hand. She looks around in awe, recognizing the impossibly powerful silencing array her master has just cast. She informs the terrified thieves that her master has no intention of letting them leave. The intruders' faces drain of color as they realize they've been trapped by a truly terrifying power. At the Beastmaster department, their furious eldest senior, He Xiangsheng, demands to know what happened. The two battered thieves kneel and report their utter failure, admitting the new disciple was far too strong for them. He Xiangsheng compensates his injured subordinates, magically sending them valuable restoration and chi pills. One of the bruised thieves gratefully accepts the compensation, his face a mix of relief and pain. Dismissing them to rest, the senior brother vows to personally settle the score with the talisman department. He issues a command to gather all members, declaring their intent to march on Azure Bird Peak. Leading his followers, he swears to teach Bai Lochin a lesson for humiliating his department. Just as they prepare to leave, a more cautious member of their group rushes to stop them. He wisely points out that since Bai is an instructor and they were trespassing, they will be the ones punished. Another disciple angrily argues back, gesturing to their beaten comrades and refusing to let the insult slide. The cautious disciple devises a cunning plan, suggesting they twist the narrative to their advantage. He elaborates that they will frame Su Liu as the aggressor, silencing their own members to control the story. Their scheme escalates, planning to force Bai into an impossible choice between his horse and his disciple. With their twisted plan in place, the Beastmaster disciples march towards the Academy's enforcement hall. A new day dawns peacefully over the mountains of Azure Bird Peak. The sound of a door opening breaks the morning silence at Bai's dilapidated home. Bai stretches and yawns, stepping outside to begin another day of his simple life. Su Liu emerges looking exhausted, but greeting her master with respect. Bai immediately gets to business, asking about her progress with the books he provided. She nervously admits she struggled all night, but presents a small glowing talisman as proof of her efforts. She reveals that just half a page of the book completely drained her spiritual ki. Worse still, the former immortal couldn't even comprehend the profound knowledge she read. Bai calmly asks for her progress, while she nervously prepares to admit her failure. She feels deeply ashamed, believing she has failed to live up to her past life's legacy. Her answer stuns the woodcutter, who nearly drops his axe in disbelief. He stares at her in shock, unable to process what he just heard. Su Liyue timidly confirms that she managed to read half a page through the night. Bai bursts out laughing, clarifying that he's not disappointed, but utterly astonished. He admits he only expected her to solve one or two problems, not read so much. His praise leaves her confused, wondering if her master thinks her talent is actually terrible. He clarifies that her progress isn't just good, but an incredibly high standard. Bai internally marvels, admitting he wrote that book only after reaching the pinnacle of talisman mastery himself. He then tosses her a glowing token, advising her not to neglect her other skills. This token, he explains, grants her access to the Academy's vast library and its techniques. Increasing the token's rank will unlock even more powerful and secret techniques from the sect. He reveals there are 2 ways to do this: completing sect missions or participating in disciple trials. Filled with new purpose, Suliyue gratefully accepts the guidance and vows to do her best. However, she inwardly scoffs, comparing the Academy's token to her master's profound book. After all, as a former immortal, she already possesses a mountain of priceless techniques from her past life. In her mind, the Academy's offerings are nothing but garbage compared to her own vast collection. She lovingly clutches the book, convinced her master's teachings are all she'll ever need. Her blissful moment is cut short by Bai's intense stare, prompting her to ask if something is wrong. A booming voice suddenly echoes across the peak, demanding she come out and face judgment. She nervously confesses to her master that she dealt with some intruders the previous night. With a guilty look, she admits her methods might have been a bit harsh, attracting unwanted attention. Bai simply smiles, reassuring her that he will handle any trouble so she can focus on her training. He then leads her towards a portal, ready to face whatever awaits them. Outside, the entire Beastmaster department marches in force, led by their furious senior disciple. The angry mob gathers before the portal to Azure Bird Peak, waiting for their targets to emerge. Bai and Suliyue step through the portal, coming face to face with the hostile crowd. 2 officials from the enforcement hall arrive, announcing an investigation into Suliyue for injuring another disciple. They hover over the crowd, formally demanding that Bai surrender his disciple for judgment. Unfazed, Bai smirks at his nervous disciple, remarking on the impressive welcoming party she's gathered. He strides forward with his axe, and the entire mob of disciples instinctively parts a path for him. An officer named Zhao Cheng steps up, claiming to have irrefutable evidence against Suliyue. Bai interrupts the official proceedings by slamming the butt of his axe into the ground. He completely ignores the officers, instead calling out the person hiding at the back of the crowd. His piercing gaze lands on the Beastmaster's senior disciple, questioning him about the 2 troublemakers from last night. The senior disciple flinches, clearly panicked by Bai's direct and unexpected accusation. He quickly recovers, spinning a tale about his disciples getting lost and claiming he's already punished them. Bai's eyes narrow as he mockingly repeats the word accidentally, seeing right through the lie. He then declares that his disciple also accidentally beat them up, offering to punish her himself. The enraged officer warns that the enforcement hall has evidence and won't spare Bai for protecting her. A terrifying red aura erupts from Bai as he turns back, questioning if the officer dares to threaten him. The official recoils in terror, a cold sweat breaking out as he feels the immense pressure. He swallows hard, the threat hanging heavy in the air between them. Seizing the moment, the Beastmaster senior disciple loudly accuses Bai of blatant disrespect. He points an accusatory finger, proclaiming that Bai has no regard for the rules of the sect. He implores the officers to uphold justice and take down the defiant Woodcutter, while Bai remains unimpressed. Spurred into action, the 2 officers ignite their power and charge forward to apprehend Bai. The officer pleads with Bai, asking him not to make their job more complicated than it needs to be. Bai scoffs, questioning if the enforcement hall is really foolish enough to believe the Beastmaster's lies. Enraged by the disrespect, the other officer declares that both Bai and his disciple will face punishment today. He calls to his partner, urging him to join forces and attack the defiant Woodcutter together. The Beastmaster senior disciple smirks, mocking Bai and questioning if he still has the strength he possessed a decade ago. The 2 officers charge forward with glowing swords, determined to subdue the seemingly powerless instructor. The senior disciple sneers that a cripple like Bai is courting death by provoking 2 powerful cultivators. Unfazed, Bai instructs his disciple to use this as a chance to test her new skills, promising to intervene if needed. Suliyue leaps forward to face the 2 charging officers, who are stunned by her audacity. She meets their attack with a confident smirk, ready to show them exactly what she's capable of. Suliyue calmly faces the twin sword strikes of the charging enforcement hall officers. One officer brings his glowing blade down with furious intent, expecting an easy victory. But she effortlessly sidesteps their combined assault, their powerful strikes hitting nothing but empty ground. Their blades shatter the rock beneath them, a testament to the force she just casually avoided. She glances back with a bored expression, finding their movements disappointingly slow. Realizing this is a test from her master, she prepares to demonstrate her newfound knowledge. She gracefully evades their clumsy attacks, her confidence growing with every dodged blow. Filled with determination, she begins to channel her own power, ready to end the fight. The officers pause, confused by the intricate and unfamiliar hand signs she begins to form. Their confusion turns to shock as they realize she's drawing a powerful talisman sealed directly in the air. The officer stares in disbelief, baffled by her ability to cast a talisman while actively in combat. His partner seethes with rage, convinced her casual demeanor is a sign of ultimate disrespect. Deciding to end it, he signals his partner to unleash their powerful combination technique. They lunge forward in unison, unleashing a massive wave of green energy towards her. She effortlessly sidesteps the powerful slash, which shatters the ground where she just stood. Trapped by their aerial assault, she's forced to abandon her complex talisman before it's complete. The officers merge their power, creating a colossal green energy beast to overwhelm her. In response, Suliyue simply raises 2 fingers, a spark of blue energy crackling at their tip. She scoffs at their flashy attack, gathering a storm of blue lightning around her with contemptuous ease. A brilliant sphere of pure blue energy forms above her, ready to meet their massive attack head-on. She unleashes her condensed lightning, a brilliant blue orb that easily counters their massive green beast. The 2 attacks collide in a cataclysmic explosion that rips through the battlefield. The officers are thrown back by the force, forced to their knees by the sheer power of the blast. Battered and bruised, one of them dares to hope their combined attack was enough to win. But as the smoke clears, Suliyue stands unscathed, summoning even more crackling lightning orbs. She mockingly asks if that's all they've got, forming the lightning into 2 ethereal spirit beasts. The twin lightning spirits dive towards the helpless officers, ready to deliver the final blow. Their faces drain of color, realizing they are completely outmatched and facing certain defeat. From the sidelines, Bai calmly observes his disciple's impressive display of lightning magic. He thoughtfully notes her lightning attribute, regretting that the near-dragon's gallbladder won't suit her cultivation. Suliyue stands victorious over the fallen officers, already planning her next move to find a lightning beast. The defeated officer desperately calls out to the Beastmaster Senior, demanding he join the fight. The senior disciple panics, internally cursing the officer for trying to throw him under the bus. She mockingly questions the senior disciple, pointing out the futility of him joining a fight his allies have already lost. With a flick of her finger, she unleashes a precise bolt of crackling blue lightning. The lightning strikes the senior disciple dead center, overwhelming him with its power. He collapses to his knees in agony, stunned by the unexpected and powerful attack. Suliyue looks on in confusion, wondering how her attack missed its intended target and hit him instead. Bai finally steps in, calmly telling his disciple that her demonstration is over. The enraged officer struggles to his feet, threatening Bai with the consequences of attacking the enforcement hall. Unfazed by the threats, Bai casually cleans his ear, mocking the officer's empty warning. He turns with a chilling smirk, clarifying that the 3 troublemakers are the only ones who will feel regret. With a single pointed finger, Bai unleashes his aura and commands them all to kneel. The officer's face twists in horror as an invisible, crushing force slams down upon him. Pillars of golden energy erupt from the ground, forcing the intruders to their knees under the immense pressure. The sky above the peak darkens as crackling lightning responds to the woodcutter's will. Pinned to the ground, the officer stares in disbelief, unable to comprehend how a cripple could wield such power. Bai calmly reminds them of their location, questioning if they've forgotten they stand on his territory. The senior disciple realizes Bai is borrowing the peak's immense spiritual energy, a privilege of his station. Suddenly, the lead officer's enforcement hall token glows erratically before shattering in his hand. The second officer coughs up blood as the immense pressure from Bai's attack shatters his token. Bai shows mercy to the 2 officers, letting them go only out of respect for a certain elder too. His cold gaze then falls upon the Beastmaster Senior, who remains trapped by crackling purple energy. He sentences the disciple to kneel and reflect on his actions until his own master comes to retrieve him. Back at the Beastmaster department, a powerful figure demands to know what caused the disturbance. A subordinate nervously recounts the humiliating defeat at the hands of Bai and his new disciple. The department's vice instructor, Chung Kun, learns his senior disciple is still being punished at Azure Bird Peak. He dismisses the others, declaring his intent to personally settle the score with the talisman department. One of the disciples smirks, confident that Bai is no match for a heavenly avatar stage cultivator like their vice instructor. Meanwhile, the kneeling disciple's master instructs another student to prepare for a rescue mission the following night. The sun rises over the mountains, signaling the start of another eventful day. Bai finishes his breakfast, wondering why no one has come to collect the kneeling disciple outside. His patience finally snaps as he drops his empty meal box to the ground. He strides towards the gate, deciding to investigate the Beastmaster department's lack of action. As he steps out, he finds a young woman from the Beastmaster department waiting, a blue flame dancing on her fingertip. She turns her attention to a pile of logs, preparing to make a powerful statement. With a defiant glare, she focuses her energy, ready to unleash her strength. She smashes a thick log with a single powerful hand strike. Not finished, she follows up with a swift kick, shattering another piece of wood into splinters. The woman strikes a confident pose amidst the debris, issuing a clear, unspoken challenge. Bai praises her for maintaining her focus and the talisman despite the surprise attack. He entrusts her with a defensive talisman, tasking her with protecting the peak in his absence. With a final word, Bai transforms into a golden streak and soars into the sky. His destination is the treacherous Ashen abyss, a land filled with powerful demons and beasts. In its depths reside the legendary 12 demon ancestors, being so powerful that even the strongest cultivators avoid them. He streaks across the sky at incredible speed, heading towards the dangerous region. He lands with immense force on a desolate peak, surveying the landscape before him. He decides against hunting a demon ancestor, seeking a slightly less powerful beast suitable for his disciple's cultivation. Spotting a valley crackling with lightning, he decides to borrow some materials from a local spirit king. But his journey was not unnoticed, as the determined woman from the Beastmaster department has tracked him to this remote location. Bai turns, surprised to find the determined woman from the Beastmaster department has followed him. His thoughts are cut short as a volley of purple fireballs rains down upon the unsuspecting woman. He watches the fiery explosion, sighing that his peaceful life is once again being disturbed. Despite his reluctance, he raises a hand, summoning a protective barrier of crackling blue energy. A powerful shield forms around him as he resigns himself to protecting a fellow Academy member. But the woman sits amidst shattered green energy, taunting her unseen attackers for their weak attempts. Two menacing figures emerge, with the larger one gloating that they've finally cornered her. She glares back defiantly, warning the two men to keep their distance. The larger man scoffs, making a crude and insulting remark about her department's purpose. His vile proposition leaves her trembling with fear and disgust, trapped by their sinister intentions. She defiantly declares she would rather perish than yield to their vile intentions. The hulking brute lunges forward, his fist crackling with purple energy as he moves to strike her down. His attack lands, sealing her spiritual power and leaving her completely paralyzed on the ground. He grabs her chin with a cruel smirk, savoring her futile struggle against his overwhelming power. The villain looms over her, promising to prolong her suffering for his own amusement. Just as despair sets in, another woman appears, facing down the two menacing figures. From a distance, Bai shouts a critical instruction, directing the newcomer to strike a vital pressure point. The paralyzed woman is suddenly jolted by a surge of energy, realizing she has regained control of her body. She springs into action, striking the stunned brute directly in the chest with a precise, lightning-fast jab. Her attack connects with a blinding flash, sending the masked villain stumbling back in agony. From her vantage point, the attack explodes outward, sending the brute flying backward. The villain's chest smolders with raw energy, revealing the devastating power of her precise strike. The Beastmaster disciple stares in disbelief, stunned by the sudden and violent turn of events. Her powerful foe is sent crashing into a distant cliff as his panicked partner rushes to his side. Both women turn and bow deeply towards Bai, thanking the mysterious senior for his timely intervention. Bai watches them, completely baffled as to why they are bowing to what he thinks is empty space. Enraged by his leader's defeat, the second villain ignites with blue flame and vows to end her. The Beastmaster disciple bluffs, taunting the remaining foe despite being completely drained of energy. Her opponent sees through the act, preparing to strike as she nervously asks her new ally for guidance. From his perch, Bai calmly issues another command, directing her to aim for a critical pressure point. She mocks her opponent's slow movements, easily evading his clumsy attack. The enraged villain lunges forward, determined to capture her. Her confidence falters as a blast of energy narrowly misses her face. From a distance, Bai intervenes with a simple snap of his fingers. Golden chains erupt from thin air, instantly binding the helpless villain. The newcomer urges the Beastmaster disciple to finish the fight. The disciple asks her mysterious benefactor for permission to interrogate the captive first. The villain cruelly reveals that her senior sister has already sacrificed her own power to escape. She furiously denies his claims, but he taunts her with the grim fate that awaits her sister. He dares her to finish him, revealing his connection to the notorious Void Equal sect. The Beastmaster disciple calls out to her mysterious senior, grabbing the attention of the bound villain. Bai steps forward, demanding to know why the Void Equal sect is operating in Academy territory. He strolls forward with an air of nonchalance, questioning if the villain recognizes him. The villain shouts in disbelief, remembering the legend of Bai's crippled cultivation. Ignoring the outburst, Bai demands the location of the missing disciple, while the villain defiantly refuses. Deciding the villain is useless, Bai unleashes a blinding flash of energy to end the interrogation. With a cold expression, he watches as his attack completely obliterates the villain, leaving the disciple stunned. The disciple panics over her lost lead, but Bai calmly reassures her that he has a way to find her sister. He asks for a personal item, and as she presents a handkerchief, a fiery tracking spirit materializes from his talisman. He commands the fiery spirit to track the handkerchief's owner, and it takes the item, ready to begin the search. The fiery spirit takes flight, clutching the handkerchief as it begins its search. It plunges into a deep, dark chasm, following the trail of the missing disciple. Deep within the pit, the missing senior sister lies injured, recalling her desperate escape. With her spiritual power shattered, she resigns herself to a grim fate in the darkness. Her last thoughts turn to her junior sister, hoping she managed to escape safely. Suddenly, a familiar voice calling her name cuts through her despair. She looks up towards the source of the sound, a flicker of hope in her eyes. Mustering her strength, she calls back, confirming that it is indeed her. The Beastmaster disciple excitedly confirms her sister's location, while Bai notes the severity of her injuries. As she prepares to leap down for the rescue, Bai calmly steps in, telling her to wait. Bai effortlessly draws a complex talisman in midair, leaving the disciple completely stunned by his skill. He flicks the glowing talisman into the chasm, sending it down to retrieve the injured woman. The talisman dissolves into a shower of glowing blue droplets, raining down on the injured senior sister below. She looks up in confusion as strange, glowing blue bubbles begin to surround her. The mysterious bubbles envelop her, gently lifting her from the ground and into the air. Encased in the soft, glowing spheres, she is carefully carried upwards out of the dark pit. She emerges from the chasm, floating safely towards her relieved junior sister. The sisters share a tearful reunion, overjoyed and safe after their harrowing ordeal. Both women turn and bow deeply, expressing their profound gratitude to Bai for his life-saving intervention. A glowing sun-shaped token suddenly materializes in Bai's hand, signaling a new development. Bai offers the injured woman a glowing pill to help her recover. The woman recognizes it as a priceless 5-revolution regeneration pill, which Bai apparently won in a bet. She tries to refuse the precious item, but Bai dismisses her concerns, insisting her life is more valuable. Her junior sister takes the pill for her, gratefully thanking Bai as she pushes it towards her senior. With a gentle apology, the junior sister ensures her senior takes the life-saving medicine. A potent green light envelops the senior sister as the pill's powerful healing energy takes effect. In an instant, her injuries vanish, and she marvels at the incredible restorative power of the treasure. After they vow to repay his kindness, Bai dismisses their thanks and gets straight to the point. He looks at them with a serious expression, demanding to know their reason for being in the treacherous Ashen abyss. The two women exchange a nervous glance, clearly reluctant to reveal their true mission. The junior sister nervously begins to explain their mission, admitting they were searching for a rare material. She confesses they came to the treacherous Ashen abyss to find a way to repair her master's treasured instrument. She explains that her master is the head instructor of the Zither department. Her senior sister adds that they heard a rumor about a special wood that grows only in this abyss. They admit they underestimated the dangers, thinking they could slip in and out unnoticed. Meanwhile, back on Azure Bird Peak, a massive vortex of spiritual energy swirls in the night sky. A powerful voice booms across the mountain, accusing Bai of unjustly punishing his disciples. The formidable vice instructor of the Beastmaster department appears, demanding justice for his students. Back in the abyss, Bai lectures the two women, pointing out the countless spirit kings that inhabit the area. The junior sister apologizes profusely, explaining she acted in a moment of desperation for her master's sake. Bai senses there's more to their story than just a desperate act. The junior sister reveals she was chasing a rare snow cicada, which the Void Equal sect was also after. He realizes the creature wasn't a simple beast, but a powerful spirit king undergoing a transformation. He confirms his interest, seeing the creature as a perfect lightning catalyst for his disciples' training. He dismisses the two sisters who watch him leave, remarking on his devotion to his disciple. Meanwhile, back at Azure Bird Peak, a powerful voice echoes, demanding Bai's presence. The Beastmaster Vice Instructor and his subordinate arrive at Bai's home just as the door opens. Suliyue steps out, politely informing the visitors that her master is currently away. The Vice Instructor glares down at her with contempt and issues a single, chilling command. She defiantly questions his authority, prompting his subordinate to mock her and her crippled master. Suliyue calmly refutes his authority and warns him to be mindful of his words about her master. The Vice Instructor erupts in fury, questioning how a new disciple dares to defy the Academy's rules. He channels his immense power into a giant energy hand, demanding she submit to his will. The colossal green hand descends, threatening to crush her where she stands. His attack slams into the ground, but she withstands the impact within a protective blue aura. Bloodied but unbroken, she glares back, declaring her innocence and refusing to kneel. The Vice Instructor smirks, acknowledging her guts with a chilling look in his eyes. He unleashes even more power, vowing to see just how long her defiance can last. A monstrous green energy beast crashes down, its overwhelming force intended to break her spirit. Suddenly, the Vice Instructor pauses, sensing an unexpected interference with his attack. The Vice Instructor's overwhelming green energy shatters against an unseen force. A brilliant pillar of blue light erupts from the ground, revealing Suliyue at its core. Despite her injuries, she glares back with unwavering defiance, pushing her power to its absolute limit. The Vice Instructor realizes she's sacrificing her own cultivation, a move as reckless as her master's. Fearing the humiliation this will bring, he decides this defiant disciple must be silenced permanently. He orders his subordinate to end her life, but the younger disciple hesitates in shock. The subordinate bravely argues against the order, believing her punishment is too severe and offers to mediate. Suliyue is momentarily surprised, finding an unexpected voice of reason among her enemies. While the subordinate tries to negotiate, the Vice Instructor launches a sneak attack from behind him. The well-meaning disciple pleads with her to kneel, promising to de-escalate the situation for his master's sake. The subordinate berates her, insulting her master and questioning her defiance. He questions her stubbornness, his own power flaring with frustration. Unfazed, she challenges him to act, knowing his master's true intentions. With a sudden apology, she redirects an attack she had prepared for his master towards him. But before she can strike, a shadowy beast lunges at the unsuspecting subordinate. The creature connects with brutal force, sending the disciple reeling from the unexpected blow. It lands with a ground-shattering impact, its power undeniable. The subordinate lies defeated amidst the rubble, completely overwhelmed by the sudden assault. Suliyue watches in stunned silence, completely baffled by the sudden appearance of her master's horse. The Vice Instructor smirks, finally understanding that the horse is a powerful spirit beast. The horse unleashes its true power, erupting in a storm of violent purple energy. Suliyue is suddenly swept onto its back as the beast charges forward to protect her. The Vice Instructor scoffs, annoyed that this hidden beast dared to interfere with his plans. He decides the creature will suffer the same fate as its master for its insolence. A whip of green energy shoots from his hand, aimed at capturing the powerful steed. The energy tether successfully ensnares the beast, yanking it to a violent halt. Restrained but not broken, the horse glares back with pure defiance at its captor. Enraged by its stubbornness, the Vice Instructor prepares to deliver a finishing blow. His powerful strike connects, shattering a vital point on the horse and sending it flying. The devastating attack is reflected in Suliyue's wide, horrified eyes. The horse is sent flying by a devastating blast of purple energy. It crashes to the ground, critically wounded as its own dark energy flickers weakly. Tears of grief and rage stream down Suliyue's face as she watches her protector fall. Her sorrow explodes into a furious blue aura, vowing to make the Vice Instructor pay for his cruelty. Unimpressed, the Vice Instructor unleashes another wave of green energy to silence her for good. He stands confidently, ready to crush her, but she meets his power with her own blazing defiance. The Vice Instructor sneers, certain that her desperate struggle is about to end. Fueled by vengeance, she lunges forward, deciding to end the fight with one final, all-or-nothing gambit. She summons a massive golden energy wheel, a technique far beyond her current level. Pouring every last bit of her strength into the attack, she prepares to strike him down. The golden wheel of destruction hurtles towards the vice instructor with blinding speed. Her desperate attack slams into him, creating a massive explosion of conflicting energies. But the vice instructor survives, revealing a gash on his shoulder and admitting he was prepared. He touches his neck, showing how a protective treasure saved him from a fatal blow. As his last line of defense shatters, he becomes convinced this dangerous disciple must be eliminated. The massive attack completely drains Su Liyue, leaving her exhausted and vulnerable. Seizing the opportunity, the vice instructor ensnares her with a glowing green energy tether. He yanks the tether with cruel force, pulling the helpless disciple directly towards him. He grabs her by the throat, his power flaring as he easily overpowers her. Even in his grasp, she glares with defiance, warning him that her master will surely avenge her. The vice instructor reveals his true intention, to eliminate both her and her master. Nearby, the critically injured horse struggles to rise, refusing to stay down. Despite her pleas, the loyal beast stands before her, ready to shield her with its own body. The villain sneers, promising to make the animal suffer after he's done with her. As despair sets in, Su Liyue's last thoughts turn to her absent master. A memory flashes through her mind, Bai entrusting her with a powerful defensive talisman. With her last bit of strength, she slaps the paper talisman onto her captor's arm, catching him by surprise. He scoffs at the seemingly futile gesture, underestimating the power of a simple piece of paper. The talisman instantly erupts in a blinding flash of brilliant blue energy. A massive vortex of power explodes from the point of contact, engulfing the arrogant vice instructor. The talisman's true power erupts, sending the vice instructor flying back from the sheer force of the blast. Exhausted but victorious, Su Liyue watches as the energy from the talisman begins to coalesce. The blue energy reforms into a surprisingly cute but furious-looking spirit bird. The vice instructor stares in disbelief, utterly baffled by the strange creature that has appeared. His terror grows as the massive energy bird looms over him, ready to strike. The spirit bird lands with immense force, its power shaking the very ground beneath them. It gathers its energy, its entire body glowing with overwhelming power before unleashing its final attack. A concentrated beam of pure energy shoots forward, completely engulfing the helpless vice instructor. The attack leaves nothing but scorched earth and crackling blue lightning in its wake. As the dust settles, the vice instructor's last defensive treasure shatters, leaving him utterly defeated. The subordinate disciple rushes forward, anxiously checking on his defeated master. The vice instructor writhes on the ground in a crater, his body and pride completely shattered. His loyal subordinate quickly moves to his side, ready to help him up. The disciple tries to help him retreat, but the enraged vice instructor shoves him away, vowing to make Su Liyue pay. He channels his remaining power, forcing his body to heal through sheer stubborn rage. His ego shattered, he refuses to accept defeat at the hands of a mere disciple. Fueled by humiliation, he launches himself forward for one final desperate attack. Exhausted and out of options, Su Liyue braces for the inevitable, believing this is the end. Her eyes snap open as she senses a familiar, overwhelming power arriving just in time. Bai appears in a blaze of glory, his back to his disciple as he effortlessly blocks the attack. Bai's hand clamps down on the vice instructor's wrist, effortlessly halting his attack. The vice instructor's face twists with rage and shock, unable to break free from the iron grip. Bai kneels to tend to his disciple's injuries, telling her to save her strength. Turning back with a hand wreathed in golden flame, he questions the audacity of the attack. He seizes the vice instructor by the face, his grip crushing the man's pride and composure. With cold fury, Bai questions when the Beastmaster department fell to such dishonorable tactics. A single, devastating slash of fiery energy tears through the vice instructor's defenses. The bloodied instructor reels in disbelief, unable to comprehend his defeat against his own high standing. His shadowy spiritual form cracks under the pressure, overwhelmed by the woodcutter's raw power. The vice instructor's form shatters completely as he refuses to accept his loss to a supposed cripple. The subordinate staggers back, wounded but furious at the turn of events. As Bai tends to his disciple, the subordinate rushes forward, begging him to show mercy. Bai ignores the plea, his eyes narrowing as he issues a command to his golden bell. A massive golden bell materializes from thin air, trapping the panicked subordinate inside. The vice instructor watches as his student is imprisoned, his own spiritual form still under assault. Battered and bleeding, the vice instructor realizes with horror what Bai is doing. He feels a bizarre sensation, realizing Bai is simultaneously healing his body while punishing his spirit. The vice instructor's spiritual form is relentlessly pummeled, a humiliating lesson in power. Waves of green energy ripple across the battlefield, a testament to the strange punishment being dealt. Bai's spiritual hand presses down on the vice instructor's head, forcing him into submission. Inside the bell, the subordinate panics as golden energy suppresses his own power. Bai's spiritual form announces he will spare the vice instructor's life, but only out of respect for the dean. With the bell lifted, the subordinate rushes to his master's side as Bai orders them to leave his peak. The dazed vice instructor recognizes the pill his disciple offers as a priceless treasure. The subordinate urgently tries to feed his master the healing pill, desperate for a quick escape. But the vice instructor slaps the pill away, his pride completely shattered by the humiliating defeat. He furiously refuses to retreat, claiming Bai only won because of a cheap surprise attack. Demanding his spatial ring back, he boasts that he still has trump cards left to play. Nearby, Bai tends to his disciple, who apologizes for failing to protect their home. His spiritual form then turns to heal the loyal horse, who was also grievously injured in the fight. Bai reassures his disciple that she did well and begins the delicate process of healing her meridians. The enraged vice instructor retrieves his spatial ring, preparing to unleash his trump card. He summons a colossal griffin from a swirl of green energy, boasting that this is his true power. The rank 8 griffin, his strongest contract beast, materializes with a fearsome cry. Still focused on his disciple, Bai casually tosses a small glowing pouch to counter the threat. The pouch opens to reveal a tiny adorable spirit whose eyes crackle with overwhelming blue lightning. With a single blast, the tiny spirit sends the mighty griffin reeling in a shower of feathers. The terrified griffin flees into the night, ignoring the vice instructor's furious commands to return. Just then, the two sisters from the abyss arrive, and Bai calmly asks them to watch over his disciple. Standing atop his roof, Bai reflects on his years of peaceful seclusion, wondering why trouble insists on finding him. The vice instructor roars with fury, twisting the blame and accusing Bai of harming his students. A sinister red light flares in Bai's eye, a blood-red sigil marking his lethal intent. He recoils in terror, recognizing the terrifying melting blood curse swirling around Bai. Remembering the curse's horrifying effects, he desperately flees as a streak of green light. His escape is futile as a shadowy force closes in, filling him with the dread of his impending doom. A golden lash of energy intercepts him, sending the bloodied instructor crashing to the ground. His escape is cut short as the golden attack neutralizes his momentum, leaving him grounded. Defeated and disheveled, he can only stare in abject terror, completely at Bai's mercy. The defeated instructor desperately appeals to their shared academy status, warning of karmic retribution. Unmoved, Bai looms over him, declaring that he himself will be the man's heavenly judgment. A horrifying red curse manifests in the air, its tendrils spreading out like sinister wings over the terrified instructor. The grotesque mass of eyes and tendrils descends, ignoring the man's desperate pleas to keep it away. A flashback reveals Bai successfully capturing the lightning spirit he would later give to his disciple. While away, he had sensed his disciple's peril through a connected artifact, realizing she was in grave danger. This prompted his immediate and incredibly fast return, streaking across the sky to intervene. Upon arrival, he had deployed a massive silencing array to ensure no one could witness the coming events. The onlooking sisters from the Zither department could only watch in stunned disbelief at the unfolding scene. Back in the present, the curse consumes the vice instructor, reducing him to a writhing, unrecognizable crimson mass. With a simple, decisive snap of his fingers, Bai brings the gruesome punishment to an end. The curse vanishes, leaving behind only the man's tattered robes and a lingering wisp of dark energy. The Zither sisters stare in shock, realizing the true, devastating power of the melting blood curse. Bai turns his attention to the kneeling subordinate, stating that his hand was forced by the vice instructor's actions. The terrified subordinate pleads with Bai, hoping to avoid the same gruesome fate as his master. Bai's expression hardens, his focus now entirely on the last remaining troublemaker. The subordinate trembles, clutching his chest as he awaits his judgment. With a swift motion, Bai unleashes a powerful strike, not to kill but to teach a lesson. The disciple is left stunned as Bai shatters his cultivation, warning him to choose his masters more wisely. Bai orders the disciple to remain silent and take the other kneeling student with him before leaving the peak. The Zither sisters watch from a distance, realizing the master and disciple need a moment alone. Deciding not to intrude, the junior sister leads her senior away, leaving Bai to tend to his student instead. The Zither sisters bid farewell, promising to repay Bai for his help as they depart from the peak. Bai watches them leave, silently hoping his quiet mountain doesn't become a popular tourist destination. With the intruders gone, he snaps his fingers, deciding it's time to get out of his battle-worn clothes. He stands with his disciple and horse, surveying the unsettling, crimson-tinged aftermath of his curse. His expression suddenly hardens as he senses an unseen presence that was monitoring the battle. He recalls the grotesque, winged curse he unleashed, a being of pure destructive energy. But he realizes his powerful curse was being observed, its energy clashing with an unknown scrying spell. His disciple asks if something is wrong, but he dismisses her concern, hiding the new threat. Internally, he confirms his suspicion that a powerful entity was spying on Azure Bird Peak. Far away, a spy's scrying orb cracks and shatters, revealing the face of the one who dared to watch. A powerful elder weeps with rage, vowing revenge on Bai for the complete annihilation of his nephew. In a secluded cave, the Supreme Elder instructs his subordinate to target Bai's disciple in the next trial. The subordinate, revealed to be Law Enforcement Elder Tu Wangsheng, confirms that his haul is already prepared. Back on Azure Bird Peak, Bai announces he has returned with a gift for his disciple. Suliyue stares in awe as a colossal, lightning-wreathed creature materializes before her. He reveals the massive beast is a snow cicada, caught just for her while still in its larval form. Bai explains that while searching for a simple catalyst, he stumbled upon this far greater prize. She is amazed that the Spirit King-level larva is completely tame in her master's presence. He encourages her to form a contract, noting its dual attributes will greatly aid her future cultivation. Suliyue is overwhelmed, realizing her master has casually gifted her a prize she couldn't have dreamed of in her past life. Overwhelmed with gratitude, she throws her arms around her flustered master. He reminds her of the upcoming trial, encouraging her to use this time to grow even stronger. Bai suggests the trial will be much easier with her new powerful companion by her side. She questions if bringing such a powerful beast to the trial is even allowed. He reassures her, explaining he can suppress its power to a level permitted within the trial's rules. She glances nervously at the glaring Spirit King, doubting it will willingly accept the power reduction. Wreathed in golden flames, Bai prepares to perform the suppression, warning that the process might be painful. He unleashes a massive vortex of energy that swirls around the giant larva. Suliyue watches in horror as the creature's power seems to surge instead of diminish. The energy solidifies into a massive cocoon, and Bai calmly announces the process is complete. The massive cocoon cracks open, revealing a brilliant golden light from within. Two delicate hands emerge from the opening, signaling the completion of the transformation. A figure steps out from the shattered cocoon, revealing its new, elegant form. Suliyue stares in absolute wonder, completely captivated by the sight before her. The snow cicada has transformed into a beautiful spirit queen, who introduces herself as Mistlin. The new spirit seems completely smitten with Suliyue, blushing shyly under her gaze. Suliyue admits she expected a monster, but is delighted by how cute the spirit queen is. Mistlin catches her words, curiously wondering if Suliyue has encountered other spirit kings. Suliyue panics, realizing she has let slip a detail from her previous life. She quickly covers her mistake, claiming she's only seen monstrous spirits in illustrations. Suliyue breathes a sigh of relief, glad her master was distracted, while Bai ponders why his system failed to analyze something. A glowing blue system interface suddenly materializes before him, catching his attention. Bai entrusts Mistlin with guiding Suliyue's breakthrough, a task the Spirit Queen eagerly accepts. Mistlin cheerfully wishes Bai good night, suggesting it's time for her and Suliyue to rest. Later, Bai is seen tending to a massive pile of giant carrots in his personal space. He realizes the Void Equal sect wasn't after the Spirit Queen, but a jade pendant she was guarding. He examines the mysterious jade, recalling that even his powerful system was unable to analyze the strange artifact. Suddenly, a large blue screen appears, announcing he has triggered a new system mission. The mission requires him to help his disciple break through and win the trial, promising rewards but a harsh penalty for failure. Bai expresses his surprise, admitting he thought the system was just a simple counter for his wood chopping. He points at the glitching system interface, realizing something is seriously wrong with it. The system aggressively pressures him for an answer, forcing him to reluctantly accept the mission. He shrugs off the mission rewards, deciding they'll be a fine gift for his disciple after her upcoming breakthrough. With his plans for his disciple settled, he heads inside for the night. But even with a sleep mask on, the persistent system interrupts his rest with a blinding blue light. The light reveals the system's true form, a beautiful, ethereal woman trapped within a sphere of glitching data. The mysterious system spirit sadly reflects that her current power is still insufficient. Bai watches the mysterious vision unfold, his curiosity piqued by the system's strange display. As her form begins to fade, the system spirit expresses a deep, heartfelt wish to see someone again. The scene then cuts to a crackling fire, where massive, juicy wings are being roasted to perfection. A group of Academy disciples are distracted from their march by the irresistible smell of roasted meat. The culprit is none other than Bai, who casually seasons his meal with a stylish flair. An irate instructor named Jiang confronts Bai, who cheekily offers him a taste of the roasted game. Bai's casual offer is met with a bizarre vision of a grotesque, multi-winged celestial being. Bai himself seems confused, admitting he has no idea what kind of strange bird he's actually cooking. The furious instructor reminds Bai that he's having a barbecue in the middle of the Academy's trial exam venue. Despite his fury, Instructor Jiang can't help but be tormented by how delicious everything smells. While Bai calmly defends his cookout, the instructor angrily orders his own drooling disciples back into formation. Bai's relaxed demeanor finally cracks, his eyes narrowing at the instructor's unreasonable attitude. The instructor declares Bai unfit for his title, a criticism Bai casually brushes aside without a second thought. Nearby disciples gossip about the absence of top students, seeing it as their chance for glory. A confident young man from the extermination department overhears their conversation with a smug look. His attention is drawn to Su Liyue, who is accompanied by her new elegant spirit companion. Fangghu of the extermination department scoffs, pitying her for being the disciple of a supposed cripple. Believing himself superior, he confidently approaches her, intending to win her over with his suave demeanor. But she completely ignores his greeting, rushing past him without a second glance. Her only focus is on her master, eagerly asking for a taste of the mysterious meat he's roasting. Bai gently refuses, explaining the food's immense spiritual power is too much for her current level. Utterly humiliated by the rejection, Fangshu's face contorts with rage. Suddenly, a firm hand lands on his shoulder, interrupting his silent fury. The hand belongs to the head instructor of the extermination department, who chides his student for showing jealousy over a woman. Their attention is diverted as a crowd of disciples excitedly points out the arrival of the Four Arts department. The male disciples are immediately captivated by the beautiful women, who seem to have noticed their gawking. Their attention is focused on the stunning Instructor Moon Xuanzhu, a famous figure from the Four Arts department. Even the formidable head instructor Yu Wangxiang loses his composure, blushing as he tries to greet Instructor Moon. But Instructor Moon ignores him completely, channeling her energy to move with incredible speed. She gracefully lands before Bai, thanking him for his earlier assistance in rescuing her two disciples. Bai awkwardly deflects her thanks while Su Liyue glares, clearly annoyed by the new woman's arrival. He introduces his disciple to Instructor Moon, who greets the young woman with a warm smile. Internally, however, Su Liyue fumes with jealousy, wondering why another rival has suddenly appeared. Head instructor Yu Wangxiang fumes with rage after his student calls out his obvious jealousy. A powerful voice suddenly roars, demanding silence from the chattering crowd. An elder stands atop a massive tower, commanding the attention of all the disciples below. The task elder announces the trial will be held in a secret realm and begins to lay out the rules. He reveals the trial will last 2 days, with rankings determined by the number of points collected. The elder explains that points can be earned by finding treasure, defeating monsters, or even stealing from other disciples. He issues a stern warning that a powerful monitoring spirit will disqualify anyone who intentionally harms another participant. With the rules explained, the disciples below murmur with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Several students look visibly shocked and nervous, realizing the true danger of the competition. The elder officially declares the trial has begun as a massive blue portal activates at the tower's base. Fangghu rallies the extermination department, ordering them to charge in and seize all advantageous locations. Su Liyue takes a determined step forward, ready to enter the secret realm for the trial. With her spirit companion perched on her head, she cheerfully bids her master farewell. She hesitates, her expression souring as she sees Instructor Moon getting cozy with her master. Instructor Moon questions Bai's confidence, but he assures her that his disciple is both talented and hardworking. He adds with absolute certainty that her greatest strength is being his disciple as she walks toward the portal. The scene flashes to a glimpse of Mislin's daily life, showing her wrapped tightly in a blanket cocoon. Mislin's idea of helping with chores involves playfully zapping the floor while Su Liyue tries to clean. The Spirit Queen is caught red-handed, devouring a stash of rare Emperor carrots, much to another spirit's dismay. She then shyly welcomes Bai home, proudly reporting her hard work for the day. Inside the trial's secret realm, a fiery bird and a lightning blast signal the start of intense battles. A disciple from another department flees in terror, pursued by a relentless arrow of blue energy. Defeated and bloodied, he can't believe a student from the joke talisman department is this powerful. Su Liyue stands over him, her power crackling as the terrified student begs her to stay back. Her attack strikes his waist, shattering the golden trial token and eliminating him from the competition. She effortlessly collects his token, adding another point to her growing tally. A monitoring spirit displays her rank, but Su Liyue feels she's still not eliminating opponents fast enough. As another participant is defeated, she grows annoyed with Mislin's constant chirping on her head. She plucks the spirit from her hair, telling her to drop the act now that they're alone. Mistlin transforms back, playfully complaining that her master told her to pretend to be a non-talking spirit. Mistlin points into the distance, sensing a potential target for her master. Deciding to investigate, Su Liyue heads towards the disturbance her spirit companion detected. She ventures deeper into the trial grounds, unaware of who she might find. Elsewhere, a cloaked figure uses a strange red toad as a tracking device, its eyes glowing with a sinister light. The mysterious figures confirm their target's location and begin their hunt through the dark woods. Meanwhile, back at the Academy Plaza, a screen displays Su Liyue brutally eliminating Fangghu, shocking the crowd. The onlookers are stunned by her ruthlessness, questioning how the talisman department's disciple is so powerful. Instructor Moon asks Bai if he's worried about the enemies his disciple is making with her aggressive tactics. Bai casually dismisses her concern, stating that true power doesn't need the approval of others. Instructor Moon smiles, intrigued by his unwavering confidence in both himself and his student. She recalls a vision of Bai's legendary past, realizing he's still the same dominant figure. Bai nonchalantly brushes off her admiration, claiming she's simply imagining his past glory. Elsewhere, a sinister bell is rung, its ominous red energy spreading unseen. Back at the plaza, the massive viewing screen suddenly fills with static, startling the onlookers. The Task Elder is alerted to a massive spiritual clash within the realm, which has severed their connection to the monitor. He learns the damage is internal, forcing him to dispatch the formation department to fix the problem from within. Acknowledging that some troublemakers are still active, the formation department's disciples are ordered into the portal. Urged to hurry, the emergency response team charges into the swirling purple portal. Unseen by the others, a shadowy figure follows them in, deciding to end the games and get serious. Deep within the realm, a colossal bolt of lightning crashes down, targeting Su Liyue, but a golden whip of energy smashes into the lightning, neutralizing the attack with ease. The small winged toad lies defeated on the ground, its tracking spell broken. Two sinister figures emerge from the shadows, lamenting that such a talented disciple will not live to see her potential. Su Liyue stands her ground, threatening to report their actions to the Academy authorities. The assassins from the enforcement hall mock her, revealing her master angered someone they shouldn't have. Unwilling to back down, she summons a dragon of pure lightning, challenging their authority. The masked assassin draws a massive purple blade and lunges forward, questioning her foolish hopes of survival. Su Liyue watches in shock as her powerful lightning attack is effortlessly cleaved in two. The two assassins declare the fight is over and rush in for the final blow. Realizing she's hopelessly outmatched, Su Liyue prepares for a fight she knows she cannot win. With her back against the wall, Su Liyue pleads with her spirit companion for aid, refusing to sacrifice her cultivation again. The female assassin charges through the lightning, her hand glowing with a sinister red energy aimed at Su Liyue. Suddenly, a brilliant flash of blue energy erupts, stopping the assassin's attack in its tracks. Meanwhile, her partner cleaves through another attack with his massive purple-infused blade. But he too is sent reeling, caught off guard by an overwhelming counterattack. Mistlin reveals her true form and unleashes a chilling gust of spiritual energy. Now towering over her master, the Spirit Queen declares the assassins are no match for her and tells them to flee. The assassins stare in utter disbelief, recognizing the terrifying power of a spirit empress. Mistlin issues a final chilling warning, making it clear that Su Liyue is under her protection. Understanding the power gap, the two assassins wisely choose to retreat, disappearing into the forest. Suliwei questions her companion's sudden growth, and Mistlin explains it was a strategic move to intimidate their foes. Now back in her tiny form, Mistlin reminds Suliwei that her protection is solely based on Bai's orders. The Spirit Queen points them towards a new objective, and Suliwei reluctantly agrees to hunt for treasure. The scene flashes back to a few days prior, revealing a private moment between the two. Mistlin is seen assisting Suliwei with her cultivation in a very unconventional and personal manner. The Spirit Queen explains her method is necessary to help Suliwei fully absorb the medicine from her master. Mistlin channels her own lightning chi directly into Suliwei to repair her damaged meridians. The intense energy transfer proves to be a stimulating experience for the young disciple. A powerful surge of energy erupts from the room, signaling the success of the unusual healing session. Elsewhere in the secret realm, a mysterious man sits before a woman trapped in ice, guarded by a red spirit. The mysterious man pleads with the woman trapped in ice, begging her to hold on. His desperation turns to alarm as he senses a powerful killing intent directed at him. He stands protectively before the frozen woman, aware that judgment is about to be passed. The man is stunned as a powerful figure emerges, recognizing the one who has come to deliver justice. The scene shifts, showing the world through the strange lens of the trial's monitoring spirit. The spirit is revealed to be a grotesque winged eyeball, the official witness to all events. Back at the plaza, Bai's spiritual projection glares down at the defeated assassins, furious at the enforcement hall's interference. He speaks in an ancient tongue, his hand crackling with golden energy as he prepares to issue a warning. His voice echoes across the realm, a clear threat to anyone who would dare harm his disciple again. Far away, the Supreme Elder coughs up blood, feeling the direct backlash from Bai's overwhelming power. His subordinates rush to his side, but the injured Supreme Elder dismisses their concern. Bleeding and enraged, he questions just how much of his original power Bai has truly recovered. Elsewhere in the secret realm, Mistlin questions if Suliwei is lost, noting they've been in this cave before. The Spirit Queen complains dramatically, criticizing her master for being weak and unable to find treasure. Suliwei's patience wears thin as Mislin's constant insults echo in her mind. Finally snapping, she blames the spirit for getting them lost in the first place, calling her annoying. Mislin's playful demeanor vanishes as her eyes crackle with challenging blue lightning. The two square off as Suliwei summons a lightning dragon to meet Mislin's ice attack. Suliwei is stunned, realizing her companion is attacking her for real. She braces for impact as the crystalline attack hurtles towards her with chilling speed. But instead of hitting her, the ice shatters to reveal a swarm of crystalline poison bugs. Mistlin smugly explains the attack was a ruse to destroy the hidden swarm, saving Suliwei from a nasty ambush. Suliwei realizes the bug's presence means a place rich in dark spiritual energy must be nearby. Concluding that a treasure must be hidden, she blasts the cave wall with a powerful lightning strike. The wall erupts in a blinding flash of energy, revealing a hidden passage behind it. Stepping through the opening, the two find themselves in a cavern crackling with residual power. They discover a massive ancient door, but Suliwei feels an unsettling sense of déjà vu. As Suliwei suggests they retreat, Mistlin scoffs at her caution, insisting they claim their prize. Ignoring her master's warning, the Spirit Queen unleashes a powerful frost attack to break down the door. The ancient door shatters under the force of the blast, revealing the secrets hidden within. Mistlin smugly boasts about clearing the way, but Suliwei points out her failure. The Spirit Queen is stunned to see her powerful ice attack left no mark on the ancient door. Annoyed by the setback, Mistlin channels her true power, gathering crackling energy in all four hands. She unleashes a massive blast of pure energy, determined to force the stubborn door open. Exhausted from the massive energy output, the Spirit Queen catches her breath, confident in her success. But her confidence shatters as she sees the door is completely unharmed without a single scratch. Enraged by her failure, she throws a tantrum, smashing her ice weapon on the ground in frustration. The Spirit Queen complains loudly about the ridiculously tough door, questioning who would build such a thing. Ignoring the tantrum, Suliwei steps forward, noticing a faint hand-shaped indentation on the door's surface. She places her hand into the slot, channeling her own lightning chi into the ancient mechanism. Her lightning energy surges into the door, causing it to crackle and glow with power. To Mistlin's utter shock, the ancient door rumbles open on its own. Suliwei is equally stunned, barely believing her simple touch was the key. Inside, they find a massive monolith radiating a sinister purple energy as Mistlin sings about their newfound wealth. While Mistlin celebrates the supposed inheritance, Su Liyue is struck by a chilling and powerful sense of familiarity. The Spirit Queen excitedly reaches for a glowing pedestal, believing it to be the trigger for a priceless martial skill. A sudden memory flashes in Su Liyue's mind as she recognizes the strange creature atop the pedestal. She recalls a terrifying demonic entity from her past life, its power identical to the energy in this chamber. The horrifying truth dawns on her. This is a seal she herself placed in her previous life to contain that very evil. Panicked, Su Liyue screams for Mistlin to stop, realizing her companion is about to break the ancient seal. Mistlin casually turns, ignoring Su Liyue's desperate warning about the seal. But it's too late. The ancient monolith shatters, unleashing a torrent of dark power. A massive floating island, corrupted by demonic energy, tears through the sky of the secret realm. Elsewhere, the mysterious man is trapped as sinister thorny vines erupt from the corrupted ground. He stares in horror as the entire landscape transforms into a grotesque, twisting forest of darkness. Back at the plaza, an elder reports that the phenomenon has severed all connections to the trial grounds. The task elder realizes with dread that this signals the arrival of a powerful demon emperor. Panic erupts among the onlookers as they fear for the disciples trapped inside the collapsing realm. The elder attempts to maintain order, but his trembling hands betray his own terror. Suddenly, the academy's dean appears via projection, demanding an immediate explanation for the catastrophe. The dean roars in disbelief, learning a demon emperor has appeared and trapped the disciples. He commands the deployment of winged monitoring spirits, now equipped with emergency teleportation arrays. A volley of glowing rescue spirits descends into the corrupted realm, their mission to extract the students. Inside, the Zither sisters are baffled as a rescue spirit appears, enveloping them in a teleportation field amidst the demonic vines. Safely returned to the plaza, Instructor Moon rushes to comfort her shaken disciples. Bai quickly approaches the group, anxiously asking Instructor Moon if she saw Su Liyue inside the realm. The junior sister nervously informs Bai that they never crossed paths with his disciple. Instructor Moon notes that all rescued students are being teleported directly back to their instructors. Bai's face darkens with worry, realizing this means Su Liyue is still trapped inside the dangerous realm. Back in the corrupted realm, the newly freed demon emperor gloats from its throne, reveling in its escape. The newly freed demon emperor Thrush announces his triumphant return, radiating immense power. The emperor unleashes a torrent of energy, attempting to freeze the entire realm and claim it as his own. Mistlin struggles against the overwhelming power, torn between self-preservation and her duty to her master's disciple. The demon emperor finally notices the two, dismissing Su Liyue as an insignificant human. Finding their presence repulsive, the emperor unleashes a powerful beam of demonic energy to erase them. Su Liyue watches in frustration, recognizing the familiar feeling of being hopelessly outmatched once again. Mistlin shoves her master aside, telling her to stay back as she prepares to face the emperor's attack alone. The emperor's physical form seems to deconstruct, its grotesque flesh and bone melting away. The demonic parts then reassemble into an even more monstrous form, looming over the two trapped below. The emperor questions Mistlin's loyalty, wondering why one of his own kind would dare to protect a mere human. Mistlin desperately tries to reason with the emperor, claiming Su Liyue is merely her pet. Su Liyue looks to her companion for a plan, but Mistlin tells her to flee while she holds the line. The Spirit Queen forcefully shoves her master away, creating a desperate opportunity for escape. Mistlin reveals her strategy, using a clone to pull Su Liyue to safety while she stays behind. The demon emperor's glowing red eyes narrow, seeing right through her desperate ploy. He declares their escape attempt futile, trapping Mistlin with a wave of overwhelming demonic energy. Unfazed, Mistlin summons an ice weapon and taunts the emperor for his rude intrusion. His patience exhausted, the emperor unleashes a devastating beam of energy to end the fight. A flashback reveals Bai once gave Mistlin a powerful, life-saving talisman for such an emergency. Back in the present, Mistlin defiantly prepares for battle, declaring her fate is already tied to another master. The Spirit Queen unleashes a torrent of crackling blue energy, meeting the Emperor's devastating attack head-on. But the demonic energy is overwhelming, manifesting as grotesque tendrils that begin to corrupt everything they touch. Elsewhere, the mysterious man is captured by the monstrous vines, his body pierced by the demonic growth. The demonic vines slam him brutally into the ground, leaving him completely helpless. The tendrils begin to fuse with his body, a horrifying transformation taking hold. He roars in agony as the demonic energy forcibly mutates his body into a monstrous new form. The transformation completes, twisting his features into a grotesque mask of rage and pain. Now a monstrous puppet, he stands before a swirling purple portal, awaiting his master's command. The task elder and his guards are suddenly confronted by the swirling portal and the monstrous figure emerging from it. With a twisted grin, the newly created monster lunges directly at the unsuspecting elder. The task elder unleashes a powerful slash, effortlessly cutting down the demonic vines. He scoffs at the relentless horde of monsters, seeing them as a mere nuisance. With his eyes glowing, the elder prepares to unleash a massive sword array to contain the threat. He summons the clear sky Decasword Veil, a powerful barrier of light that traps the demonic forces. The dean entrusts a subordinate with teleportation spirits, ordering him to rescue the disciples and avoid the demon emperor. Bai overhears the order and questions why he is being singled out to be sent back. The instructor berates Bai for his low cultivation, but Bai refuses to leave while his disciple is still in danger. The dean tries to reason with him, reminding Bai of his past sacrifices and urging him to rest. Instructor Moon intervenes, defending Bai's decision and asking the dean to let him stay. Defeated by their persistence, the dean reluctantly agrees, allowing Bai to join the rescue effort. The dean's projection warns Bai to be careful, while Instructor Moon internally decides to observe his true strength. A rival instructor mocks Bai's decision, refusing to offer any help should he perish inside the realm. Bai coolly retorts that he'll be the one collecting the instructor's corpse, enraging the man. Meanwhile, inside the corrupted realm, a massive beam of golden light erupts from Mistlin's talisman. The golden energy coalesces on the ground, forming a pulsating, multicolored mass of pure power. The mass erupts, revealing a powerful armored figure as the life-saving talisman fully activates. The demon emperor recoils in fury, roaring at the audacity of the sudden attack. A spiritual projection of Bai in full battle armor appears, announcing the talisman's activation. The projection declares its directive to eliminate all hostile beings, gathering immense power in its hands. It unleashes a devastating attack, a swirling vortex of energy that tears through the sky toward the demon emperor. The demon emperor is completely engulfed by the projection's overwhelming vortex of golden energy. The resulting blast is so immense it lights up the sky for miles, shaking the foundations of the secret realm. Elsewhere, Mistlin's body begins to dissolve into particles of blue light, her form fading away. With a final effort, she expels a small, bandaged object from her mouth, a core of her remaining essence. The tiny core lands on the ground, crackling with latent power as her old body disintegrates around it. Suddenly, the core erupts, rapidly expanding into a massive pulsating cocoon of raw energy. The cocoon bursts open, revealing a new, more mature form bound by threads of golden light. The glowing threads snap as her new body fully materializes, revealing long pink hair and powerful, intricate wings. She turns to face forward, her sharp green eyes revealing a new level of power and a serious demeanor. Mistlin realizes her master's gift was not just an attack, but a hidden method for her own rebirth. A tiny, chirping version of herself appears, confusing the newly reborn Mistlin. The small clone leads the way, and Mistlin follows, questioning where they are going. Her clone guides her to a bush, revealing the legs of an unconscious person. She finds Suliyue, who is just beginning to stir from her unconscious state. Mistlin sees that her master has been corrupted, with a demonic horn and flower now growing on her head. Terrified of the demonic miasma, the Spirit Queen considers abandoning the tainted Suliyu to save herself. She grits her teeth, angry at her lack of freedom and tempted to escape while she has the chance. A flashback shows her being scolded by Suliyue for stealing carrots, a memory of her restricted life. Another memory surfaces of Suliyue angrily making her a new blanket, reinforcing her feelings of being treated like a child. But a final memory of Suliyu's kindness, offering her a pie as thanks, makes the Spirit Queen hesitate. Her conflict resolved, Mistlin angrily flies off with Suliyue, determined to find her master and save her. Elsewhere, the monstrous demon emperor soars through the corrupted sky, crackling with immense power. The emperor descends over the forest, its presence heralded by massive bolts of lightning. Suddenly, a blinding flash of blue energy slams into the demon emperor, catching it completely off guard. The powerful beam cuts a destructive path through the landscape, a testament to its raw force. The Emperor's massive body crashes to the ground, its form twitching as the attack's energy dissipates. A mysterious armored figure rises from the wreckage, seemingly absorbing the Emperor's essence into himself. He looks up at a figure in the sky, acknowledging a power that should not exist in this realm. A silhouette of Bai appears, surrounded by glowing talismans, his presence commanding the battlefield. The armored man's eyes glow with rage at the silence, questioning if he is considered unworthy of an answer. A grotesque monster recoils, struck by a blast of vibrant pink energy. Watching from afar, a rival instructor suggests the terrified instructor Jiang should try fighting the demon sovereign. Jiang flatly refuses, then grows suspicious as his companion pulls out a glowing golden talisman. With a flick of his wrist, the rival instructor places the sealing talisman directly on Jiang's forehead. Bound and silenced, Jiang can only watch as the rival instructor mockingly orders him to go fight the monster. Meanwhile, the armored warrior pants in exhaustion, realizing Bai's shadowy form is still as powerful as ever. A pillar of golden light suddenly descends, and the monstrous creature below recognizes the aura of its master. The armored man is empowered by the light, laughing maniacally as a celestial being bestows its power upon him. Having reached its time limit, Bai's shadowy projection begins to dissipate, preparing to return to him. The empowered warrior refuses to let his opponent escape, unleashing a divine power to stop the fading projection. The empowered warrior unleashes a storm of golden energy, intending to obliterate the fading projection. Far from the battle, the real Bai calmly issues a new decree with a single word. Elsewhere, a massive blade of green energy appears, an attack Mistlin mistakes for her master's powerful aura. The green blade slams into a vibrant pink energy blast, creating a massive explosion of power. The grotesque winged monster is caught in the crossfire, facing the combined might of two powerful attacks. Its horn shatters into pieces, stunned by the arrival of yet another powerful expert. The rival instructor and his clone confront the defeated creature, demanding its identity. He then turns his attention to the armored warrior, mocking him for being fooled by a simple clone. With a flick of his wrist, he sends a volley of golden talismans flying towards his new target. The talismans bind the armored warrior, who roars in disbelief at the impossible technique being used against him. The armored warrior demands to know his opponent's identity, baffled by his impossible power. The rival instructor ignores the question, demanding information on the Western demon tribe as his talismans inflict immense pain. The warrior screams in agony, while a panicked Mistlin recognizes the demon sovereign's voice and fears for her and Suliyue. The instructor calmly informs his captive that he has plenty of time to reconsider his silence. Desperate, Mistlin finds an ally named Luo Chen, pleading for help as Suliyue's condition worsens. Luo Chen is horrified to see the corrupted Suliyue, demanding to know what happened to her. Mistlin tearfully takes the blame, claiming she was useless and failed to protect her master. Learning who is responsible, Luo Chen's demeanor shifts to cold fury, his only goal now being vengeance. The rival instructor intensifies his attack, causing the armored warrior's form to shatter under the strain. The warrior is suddenly shocked as a new, ominous purple energy begins to envelop him. The rival instructor summons a massive netherworld gate, declaring his opponent's fate is sealed. The demon sovereign struggles against the purple energy, refusing to accept his defeat. In a last desperate plea, he calls out for his own master as he's pulled toward the gate. The demonic energy solidifies into a massive mountainous prison, sealing the warrior away. Luo Chen holds the corrupted Suliyue, stunned that the demon sovereign stood no chance against the instructor. Suddenly, Suliyue cries out in agony, her body racked with pain from the demonic miasma. She violently shoves Luo Chen away, her body thrashing uncontrollably. Mistlin watches in terror, screaming her master's name as the corruption worsens. Suliyue's eyes glow a terrifying red, a single tear of blood marking her complete transformation. Luo Chen holds her close, urging her to drink something he has prepared to help her. Overcome by the demonic miasma, Suliyue lashes out, biting down on her master's shoulder. She awakens from the haze to find herself in Bai's arms, who calmly greets her as if nothing happened. Mortified, she apologizes for attacking him, but he simply reassures her it wasn't her fault. She panics upon seeing the demonic corruption has transferred to him, but he dismisses it as mere residual energy. With a confident smirk, he channels a powerful healing aura to instantly cleanse the corruption. But his internal system detects the foreign power and initiates its own automated cleansing protocol. Inside his spiritual sea, the system's attempt to purge the energy backfires, resulting in a critical error. The demonic entity mocks Bai's foolish sacrifice, gloating that he gave up his life for a mere disciple. It declares that as long as a single fragment of its soul remains, it will inevitably be reborn. The demon then reveals its true plan, to completely possess Bai's body and use it to slaughter his own people. The demon is baffled as Bai's internal system flashes with critical error messages, but the system ignores the demon, initiating a cleansing protocol for a different foreign body. Later that night on Azure Bird Peak, the scene shifts to a quiet, contemplative moment. Suliyue's expression hardens with resolve, frustrated by her own perceived weakness. Haunted by the memory of her master's sacrifice, she vows to never be a burden again. Mistlin emerges from a bath and questions Suliyu, who is tending to her eye. In an attempt to lighten the mood, Suliyue playfully pretends to be a cyclops. But Mistlin isn't amused, chiding her for joking around at a time like this. Later, Mistlin apologizes for what happened, vowing to ensure it never occurs again. Their conversation is interrupted by a voice from the roof, prompting Suliyue to warn the intruder away. The mysterious figure is revealed to be Bai, casually chopping wood while Suliyue and Mistlin watch. Suliyue suddenly sneezes, prompting a concerned Bai to ask if she has caught a cold. She brushes off his worry, claiming it's just a minor ailment as Mistlin looks on with annoyance. Mistlin internally blames herself, realizing her power outburst left Suliyue with a lingering chill. Bai decides to take action, summoning a fiery messenger bird to contact Instructor Moon for help. He announces a trip to the Four Arts Department's famous hot springs to speed up her recovery. The next day, they arrive at the luxurious hot springs where a unique creature serves as a fountain. In the bath, Suliyue playfully confronts Mistlin, demanding to know what she's hiding. Mistlin argues she deserves a reward for her protection, but Suliyue reminds her of the essence she already received from Bai. The Spirit Queen pouts in her basket bed, insisting that the essence was her personal reward. Suliyue playfully yanks the blanket off Mistlin, ending their squabble. Mistlin retaliates by transforming into a ghost, claiming her master's gifts are not for sharing. Their argument is cut short as the curtains to the hot spring are drawn open. Instructor Moon makes her entrance, gracefully stepping into the steaming water. She sinks into the relaxing bath with a sigh of relief, while Mistlin floats nearby. Instructor Moon checks on Suliyue, who confirms the healing waters are already working their magic. The instructor proudly boasts that these are the best hot springs in the entire region. Suliyue watches her with a mischievous grin, clearly planning something. She suddenly splashes the unsuspecting instructor, initiating a playful water fight. Laughing, Suliyue makes a hasty retreat as the fun begins. Instructor Moon playfully calls for her student, who taunts her to come and catch her. Suliyue's attention is suddenly caught by strange blue creatures lounging by the water's edge. The creatures seem to be communicating, with one reminding the others of a rule about taking only a single sip. Instructor Moon explains that the creatures are called starlings, and they are responsible for the high quality of the spring water. Two of the starlings get overly excited, with one trying to shush the other before they draw too much attention. Suliyue remains skeptical, wondering how they clean the water and noting she's never encountered this species before. A new arrival, Vice Instructor Liu Kuer, condescendingly mocks Suliyue for her ignorance. Suliyue glares back, taking offense at the instructor's insulting remark. The vice instructor continues her taunts, calling Suliyue uneducated as she dips a foot into the water. She then smugly suggests that Suliyue's lack of refinement is something she shares with her master, Bai. Vice Instructor Liu Kuer smugly offers to demonstrate the proper way to use the starlings. The small blue creatures immediately swarm towards her, fighting each other for the chance to serve. She laughs as the creatures attend to her, while Suliyue watches, understanding the instructor's true nature. Instructor Moon advises Suliyue to ignore the taunts, explaining they stem from Liu Kuer's inability to defeat Bai. Liu Suer then drops a scandalous rumor, claiming she saw Bai entering Instructor Moon's room. The accusation visibly stuns Suliyue, her eyes widening in disbelief and anger. The story then flashes to a private moment, showing a flustered Bai questioning the appropriateness of the situation. Instructor Moon dismisses his hesitation, teasingly questioning his reluctance. He admits his desire but expresses a lingering uncertainty about the circumstances. The scene reveals the inappropriate act is just Bai roasting chicken wings indoors, a detail Instructor Moon finds hypocritical. Instructor Moon teases him, questioning his sudden concern for propriety given his mischievous past. A memory reveals a younger Bai using a wind spell on her, an act he now dismisses as youthful immaturity. Cutting through the banter, Bai suspects she has a hidden motive for inviting him. The scene returns to the present, where Instructor Moon laments how boring the current situation is by comparison. Back in the flashback, she reveals her true request, for him to lead a training expedition to a secret realm. She explains the realm is newly discovered, and she needs a powerful guardian to oversee the mission. Despite his protests about his current state, she insists he's strong enough and suggests he bring Su Liyue for the experience. She sweetens the deal, promising a reward for his help in securing resources, and Bai finally agrees. Delighted by his acceptance, their conversation is cut short by voices from outside the room. As a final gesture, she gives him a quick peck on the cheek just as his disciples arrive to head home. Bai is startled as Su Liyue suddenly grabs his arm, stopping him from leaving. Su Liyue announces their departure, while Bai reminds Instructor Moon of their secret realm agreement. Her disciples congratulate her with knowing smiles, leaving Instructor Moon a bit bewildered. The scene shifts to the quiet, starlit night at Azurebird Peak. A ritualistic fire burns brightly, surrounded by countless glowing wooden training slips. Su Liyue levitates serenely, absorbing the fiery energy and mastering a new technique. Bai praises her incredible progress, noting she might soon surpass even her spirit companion. He cautions her about the newly created technique, urging her to practice it with a clear mind. Lost in admiration, Su Liyue leans in close, completely ignoring his serious warning. Her unexpected forwardness catches him completely off guard, leaving him flustered and speechless. Her eyes glowing red, Su Liyue makes a bold and startling proposition to her master. Bai struggles to push her away, realizing the new technique has caused her to lose all inhibitions. Overcome by the technique's side effects, she questions if she's less appealing than Instructor Moon. He sighs in frustration, trying to correct her wild misconceptions about his relationships. Leaning in close, she asks for his validation, and he reluctantly admits she is beautiful. But he clarifies his preference for her usual self before igniting a glowing blue talisman. He places the mind-clearing talisman on her forehead, causing her to cry out as it takes effect. Exhausted, Bai breathes a sigh of relief as she finally falls into a deep, albeit talkative, sleep. The next day, the scene shifts to the breathtaking floating peaks of Fangghu Mountain's secret realm. A temporary camp is established among the rocky crags, signaling the start of their new expedition. Bai briefs the disciples on their mission, stressing the importance of regrouping after entering the realm. He gives Su Liyue a pointed warning to prioritize safety over treasure, and she nervously agrees. Internally, Su Liyue is mortified, haunted by the memory of losing her inhibitions with her master. She scolds herself, trying to reconcile her past life as an immortal with her current embarrassment. Bai glances over, noticing that his disciple seems completely lost in thought and out of sorts. Their briefing is interrupted as a junior disciple rushes into the tent, calling for her senior. She breathlessly reports a situation outside, immediately catching Instructor Moon's attention. Instructor Moon turns to Bai, who calmly suggests they investigate the disturbance together. Outside, Instructor Moon confronts an unexpected arrival, demanding to know why Kang Mingxiu is there. The newcomer, Elder Kang Mingxiu of the Palace of Bliss, condescendingly reminds Instructor Moon of their shared past. Instructor Moon furiously accuses the Elder of betraying both the Academy and her master. Kang Mingxiu smirks, condescendingly reminding Instructor Moon to show respect to her Aunt Master. The Elder declares she will discipline Instructor Moon herself, pointing her glowing flute like a weapon. She demands an apology, but Bai prepares to intervene from below, rejecting her terms. Bai unleashes a powerful blast of green energy, directly challenging the Elder's authority. He internally scoffs at her crude use of a musical artifact as his energy envelops the instrument. The Elder is stunned, realizing with a jolt that she has completely lost control of her weapon. Bai calmly takes possession of the flute, declaring that it now belongs to him. Instructor Moon watches in disbelief, baffled by how Bai effortlessly claimed the artifact. Kang Mingxiu's face contorts with rage as she finally recognizes her opponent, spitting out his full name. Bai calmly plays the stolen flute, channeling his own energy into a powerful melody. The disciples watch in awe, questioning if Bai's musical talent surpasses even their own masters. Su Liyue is equally stunned, impressed by her master's unexpected proficiency in the Tao of music. She internally speculates he learned from Instructor Moon, feeling a pang of jealousy over their childhood friend connection. Enraged, the Elder summons monstrous pink tendrils, demanding the return of her jade flute. Unfazed, Bai summons a fiery beast with the flute, turning the Elder's own power back on her. The fiery attack slams into one of the Elder's subordinates, sending him flying back in a blast of energy. As the Elder is knocked off her feet, another subordinate rushes forward to catch her. He catches her in an awkward embrace, leaving the flustered elder momentarily speechless. Bai issues a final cold warning, prompting the elder and her entourage to make a hasty retreat. Bai presents the flute to an overjoyed Instructor Moon, promising to upgrade it from a spirit to a king artifact. Seeing the generous gift, Instructor Moon's disciples crowd around Bai, demanding equal treatment. Bai then encourages his own disciple, reminding Suliyue to seize the opportunity within the realm. Back in their quarters, a disciple teases Instructor Moon about being carried back to her room by Bai. A colossal vortex of purple energy tears through the sky, announcing that the secret realm is now open. A senior disciple calls out, announcing the realm's opening and urging everyone to make their final preparations. A disciple waves goodbye and enters the vortex, while Bai reminds them to be cautious and regroup. Sensing Suliyue's fear, Bai reassures her that he will be by her side, ensuring her safety. The tiny spirit on Suliyue's shoulder adds her own reassurance, eagerly announcing her presence on the mission. As she enters the portal, Bai realizes the mind-clearing talisman failed to affect her memory, concluding she is far from ordinary. A strange, serpentine creature watches as the portal to the secret realm vanishes completely. Elsewhere, a mysterious man with glowing green eyes uses a powerful technique to track his targets. Back at the camp, Elder Kang Mingshu furiously berates her subordinate for his earlier blunder. Wiping a bloody nose, she rallies her followers, preparing to enter the realm and pursue her enemies. Her cult-like disciples raise their fists, chanting their bizarre motto with fanatical devotion. Meanwhile, Bai calmly steps into the new realm, taking in his surroundings with a confident smirk. His internal system immediately issues a high-stakes quest to seal a powerful entity called the Ghost Ancestor. The scene shifts to the vast, untamed wilderness of the Fangghu mountain secret realm. Suddenly, a massive explosion of green energy tears through the tranquil forest landscape. Suliyue arrives on the scene, her stance firm as she surveys the destruction before her. A defeated disciple lies on the ground, pinned under the foot of a new arrival. A pink-haired woman smirks, mockingly admiring the fierce kitten she's just subdued. Suliyue is shocked, realizing her powerful blast failed to even scratch this new opponent. The woman summons a flurry of fleshy tendrils, preparing to teach Suliyue a lesson in respect. In response, Suliyue channels her power into a glowing green flute. She plays a desperate melody, summoning a powerful defensive shield to block the attack. A barrier of green energy erupts from the flute, deflecting the initial assault. But the tendrils easily pierce through her defense, shattering her confidence. The fleshy tendrils quickly wrap around Suliyue, leaving her completely restrained. The woman scoffs as a monstrous plant begins to drain Suliyue's energy, coveting her powerful artifact. The woman mockingly grabs Suliyue, asserting her complete dominance over the trapped disciple. She taunts the struggling Suliyue, challenging her to reveal any hidden tricks while draining her energy. In a desperate move, Suliyue channels her remaining power into a glowing talisman, calling for her master. The woman scoffs at the attempt to call for backup, amused by her captive's futile struggle. Her amusement turns to fury as she decides to punish Suliyue for her defiance. Suliyue cries out in agony as the tendrils intensify their crushing grip under the woman's cruel gaze. The woman reveals a strange banner, mocking Suliyue's weak reaction to the ordeal. Out of nowhere, a ferocious, sharp-toothed fish creature erupts in a flash of light. The creature slams into the surprised woman, piercing her body in a sudden, violent strike. The woman collapses to the ground, her tendrils dissolving as Suliyue is finally freed. A disciple arrives late, realizing the Palace of Bliss ambushed his friends while he was preparing to roast fish. He helps the exhausted female disciple, who confirms she's just out of spirit power. She reassures him the others are safe as her explosions took care of most of the enemies. The male disciple returns a dropped cloak to a mysterious hooded figure who has just appeared. The two disciples are suddenly startled, sensing a new presence nearby. The hooded figure grabs the man's arm, urgently calling him Uncle Master. A strange winged blue creature is spotted hovering over a pouch, drawing everyone's attention. The bizarre creature glows with an ethereal blue light, its single eye fixed on its target. With a quick flick of his wrist, the male disciple effortlessly captures the strange being. The female disciple identifies the creature as a soul-sucking bee, a tool used by the Palace of Bliss to harvest souls. The male disciple clenches his fist, determined to find his companions before it's too late. Suddenly, immense bolts of blue lightning crash down from the sky, shaking the earth. At the center of the storm, a lone figure stands, drawing the raw power of the lightning into herself. The figure is revealed to be Su Liyue, who is willingly undergoing a dangerous heavenly tribulation to increase her power. Having successfully absorbed the energy, she exhales a wisp of spiritual power, her cultivation enhanced. Her training is interrupted as she startles a mysterious, pink-haired woman who has suddenly appeared beside her. Su Liyue scolds her for the surprise, but the horned woman angrily points out that her lightning tribulation has leveled the entire area. Gazing at her crackling hand, Su Liyue explains that the path of cultivation demands sacrifice if she hopes to catch up to her master. The horned woman scoffs, questioning why she'd chase after a monster like Bai, who defies all logic. Flustered by the question, Su Liyue blushes and stammers, unable to properly explain her feelings. A mysterious figure smirks, pleased to have found his target before unleashing an even greater evil. Their conversation is cut short as a group of robed figures from the Palace of Bliss blocks their path. The leader of the group condescendingly offers them a chance to surrender or face the consequences. Unimpressed, the horned woman unleashes a torrent of lightning, mocking their meager numbers. The rival leader smirks, revealing she was only hiding her power and recognizes her opponent as a demon empress. She tosses a small brush into the air, preparing to unleash an attack of overwhelming scale. The brush transforms into a colossal pillar, slamming into the ground with devastating force. The horned woman recoils in shock, recognizing the terrifying demonic power radiating from the weapon. Su Liyue is knocked to the ground, calling out to a companion who has suddenly vanished. The horned woman turns in alarm, desperately calling out to Su Liyue as the situation escalates. The horned woman is sent flying by the overwhelming force of the demonic pillar. She lies defeated in a crater, admitting that this new enemy is far beyond their ability to fight. With her last bit of strength, she urges Su Liyue to summon their only hope, the old monster Bai. Su Liyue stands before the colossal demonic pillar, its ominous green aura pulsing with immense power. She's stunned by the sheer intensity of the demonic energy radiating from the artifact. The Palace of Bliss disciples bow reverently, greeting the wielder of the weapon as their ancestor. The colossal pillar shrinks, revealing the true ancestor, a small, rabbit-eared girl who seems annoyed by her followers. The demon ancestor Chang Xiaoliu angrily corrects them, demanding to be addressed by her proper title, Elder 6.